stashing backup running backs is just an insurance policy for your roster, just in case your starter goes down or a starter for another team goes down, and now you got a running back that is just stepping into the picture that you don't have to fight the fab for, especially if you got fab bidding. One running back that we got to start thinking about right now is Isaiah Davis, running back of the Jets. Breece Hall's banged up. He's in a lot of trade rumors, and if any of this happens, or if his injuries get worse, he's going to get anointed. He will be a fab buster because the waiver wire is getting worse by the week. Isaiah Davis is somebody to look at, so we're going to take a look at the good, the bad, the ugly to see whether or not you want him or if you got room on your roster to stash him. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're doing deep dives like this every single day, almost all day long, multiple videos a day. So when these players start to trend up any way, shape, or form, you know a little bit more about them, the advanced analytics, where they come from, what they did in college, so you make your informed decision whether to pick them up, start them, or whatever you need to do. Also, it can let you know you need to drop this player. You need to bench this player. Stay away because I'm going to tell you the good and the bad of the player, what to do, what not to do, and then you make your own decision because it's your team. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But Breece Hall's banged up with the knee. Odds are that he's going to play this week. Full participant in practice. He's in a lot of trade rumors, though. You're hearing that a lot. The Jets, they ain't winning a lot of games this year. They ain't got a quarterback. They got to make some changes here. Running back's an easy position to replace on the cheap. That's something to pay attention to if you get a good offer. You got some winning teams that could use another running back, the Chiefs and some others. Now you're looking at Breece Hall here. Good in the passing game. Catch ball in the backfield. Very electric. He's had knee issues before. What if he decides, nah, not today? I believe he's going to play. Full participant in practice. But sometimes that news goes the other way. Sometimes it happens. Or the trade happens. Or they're thinking about trading him and they're like, hey, let's take a rest right now. And Braelon Allen's on IR. So the only running back left is Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis is the only running back left on the Jets. If something happens to Breece Hall. And teams will trade players even though they don't have suitable backups. Look at the Browns at quarterback right now. They're rolling out Dylan Gabriel. They'll make that move if they feel like they can get capital because they ain't got nothing to play for right now. They ain't winning games. And if they win games, what's it going to matter? Breece Hall's questionable on Thursday. He's been okay this year. He hasn't been to Breece Hall this year. He's been busting a lot of weeks. 3 good weeks this season. This team's been awful. You do have the Bengals on the road this week. And Isaiah Davis is the backup running back. Isaiah Davis from the FCS level, South Dakota State, hasn't been getting much work. Got some work last year. Now something happens, he's the guy. That may be good, may be bad for fantasy because it is the Jets. But sometimes you just need the guy just to have somebody for your lineup. Coming out of high school, nobody really wanted this kid. He wasn't highly recruited. Went to South Dakota State. There we blew up in 2022 and 2023. 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns. Started off our first season with 10 rushing touchdowns, 819 yards. Like, we hit the ground running at South Dakota State. We broke out early. Yards after contact per attempt, 4.26 on his career. He's got good vision, slick feet, good in the open field. Not the most dynamic running back. He's not Saquon or anything, but a good meat and potatoes grinder with a little bit of pop in the step. You're also seeing his receiving metrics. Not heavily used in the passing game, but the final 2 years, 192 routes ran, 195 routes ran. Yards per route ran 1.04 with 10 yards after the catch per reception. Solid numbers there for a running back that was getting a lot of work up the gut, a lot of poundage. We come out for the draft last year, drafted in the 5th round. Remember, we're an FCS back, South Dakota State, so we're competing with guys from the Power 4, some G5 prospects. Our status is lower than that, but still we get drafted in the 5th round after drafting Braelon Allen right before him. 4.57 40-yard dash. Speed score is all right. Burst score is a shade below average. 6 foot 218. Has good size to his frame. Has looked good in training camp. Has been looking good in the offseason practices. Braelon Allen's gone. Breece Hall is the starter. He could get traded. He's banged up right now. So that's something to pay attention to. Do you really want to stash the backup of the Jets, though? It is the Jets. How dire are you, though? Breece Hall, if he gets traded, he's the starter. And a starting running back, even the worst one in the league, hits once every 3 to 4 games to the fairway. So that's something to pay attention. And maybe it's not worth it to you to get a fairway running back like that. But for some of you guys, you're just scraping by. Breece Hall got 2 RB1 weeks this season, 1 RB2 week, 4 bust weeks. He's got more bust weeks than good games. Last year, he hit it pretty hard. Still a little bit volatile. It's the Jets. It's the Jets. Are you going to put much stock in the Jets? Isaiah Davis, so far in his career, last year, 2 RB2 weeks, 4.2 points per game. When given the opportunity, when Breece was out, sharing the backfield with Braelon Allen, he was able to give you a little something. Even though he was the RB2, 1B back in that backfield during that time. Braelon Allen's a good running back prospect. He can hold it down. He's a big physical running back. He's out for the season, though. You're looking at Breece Hall right now, 448 yards on the season, 4.5 yards per carry. 4.5 yards per carry is all right. It's all right. It's decent. It's good. And Braelon Allen, 4.2. Isaiah Davis, 4.4. Maybe they should just run a little bit more. Maybe they should just run it until they got a punt. Maybe they got more upside with that instead of these quarterbacks. Isaiah Davis, though, not bad. Just 10 rushing attempts, though, on the season. 44 rushing yards. Maybe with a bigger sample, you can get a little bit more out of him. Breece Hall does have an injury history. That's one thing you say about him. He does have an injury history. Over the last 3 seasons, he's gotten some sort of injury where he missed some sort of time. Now he's banged up again. That is something to pay attention to. Odds are he's going to be out there. But he's missed some time over the last 3 years in every single season. Now you're looking at the route participation rate. Isaiah Davis getting work in the slot. Getting moved around. Running 12 routes a game. He's getting good volume in the passing game. 37% route participation rate. Breece Hall's running 17 routes per game. He's going to get a lot of routes ran if Breece Hall's gone. That's the thing about this. He's going to get a lot of work. He's going to get a lot of opportunity. He's been in this system for a bit. And you're looking at some of the other running backs here, like Nagano here, and he's got good size, just athleticism. Dealing with a concussion, we'll watch the status, but also you're looking at this team. It's not a fast-paced team. They do not run a lot of plays. 27 rushing plays per game, not too bad, but they're also not running a lot of plays per game. That's one thing you can definitely say about this team. When you get into neutral game script, they want to run the football. That's one thing. They want to run the football. They just can't because they suck. They just can't because they suck. This is a bad team. They can't do what they want to do most of the time. So they're not running a lot of plays. They can't move the chains. They want to run the ball. They can't run the ball because they can't continuously move the chains. This is a gamble team, a gamble situation, even with him being the guy. He's a guy that's probably going to have that Trey Sermon effect due to this team being bad, where he's going to hit once out every 3 to 4 games, but he's got some upside, some ambiguousness to his game where he could surprise you a little bit. And if he does, maybe he gets some big weeks. We do have some good matchups coming up here. We got the Bengals. Browns defense is rough after the bye. Patriots is a little bit slower. Ravens might be better or different with Lamar back, but they are giving a lot of fantasy points to running backs. You got another game against the Dolphins at home. You got some other opportunities. That is if Breece Hall is gone, if Breece Hall is banged up, that is something to pay attention to. I'm personally not investing in Jets. I know I'm doing a whole video here, but I told you in the beginning that I'm throwing out dart throws, lottery ticket stashes for you. He's a stash just in case he's out this week. You got a softer matchup here against the Bengals. There's a lot of points to be scored in this matchup here if Flacco can move the ball, as they got to really push the pace with the Bengals. If Flacco can push the pace, that's going to be an interesting matchup. That being said, running backs are scoring fantasy points against the Bengals. Second worst in the league. 31 PPR fantasy points per game the Bengals are allowing. So if he is out there, he could surprise you with a touchdown or a couple extra carries. Why you need him? He's a cuff to Breece Hall if you need that cuff. I think on teams like this, I don't cuff it up. I don't cuff it up on low volume games. However, your benches might be deeper. You might be starting like 5 wide receivers and you need something extra for the flex. Your lineup requirements might be different to where you can make this stretch. The stashes are starting to thin out at running back, and you may like this for the short term to see what happens around the trade deadline. There's a lot of avenues you can shake up here with Isaiah Davis. You like other stashes. It's the Jets. You don't want him. You don't need him. You already got your stashes in order. And again, we had a lot of stashes hit this year. Odds are some of these guys coming up aren't going to fire. Some of these guys are deeper lottery tickets like Jaden Blue. Like, the odds are a little bit stacked against them, but you need that Javonte Williams injury. Here you need the Breece Hall injury, and now you need the Jets to start playing well. So there's a lot more dominoes here that got to fall. But from what we've seen historically, bad running backs who starting for that week, bottom 30, 32 in the league, typically hit once out of 3 to 4 games, as long as they get in that starter volume, so they can at least be flex gambles for you. And then that perception of getting those touches adds value to your team to where you can make that flip. Him, another running back, a wide receiver, maybe you can package up and get something else in trade. If your league is liquid on the trade market, and then the trade deadline and fantasy starting to approach, so you also got to get your ducks in a row for that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.